Oh, God. Well, so I don't know if you can see us, but yeah.
For once, yeah.
Yeah, blew out the balloon budget here. We're having a QB1 party, and I'm wearing an orange boa.
I got the Justin Fields Forever T-shirt on. The whole town is smitten here, Trent.
We are so excited to have one of the most exciting players in the NFL play quarterback for the Bears. How did he grade out this week? Welcome to the QB1 party, by the way.
Yeah, you guys look great.
Thank you. Danny Parkins, Matt Spiegel look great, by the way. No
3 double pluses, 7 pluses, 4 minuses, and the best thing is this 2 weeks in a row with no double minuses.
Wow.
All right. We got ourselves a quarterback, boys.
So no double minuses, Trent. He hasn't been intercepted in 4 of the last 6 games. No interceptions.
No fumbles either, which was huge.
And you can see he doesn't put the ball in harm's way either. So there wasn't much to give a double minus in 2 games in a row, none, huh?
No, I played really clean. My notes as I went drive by drive, like the first clean, there were no pluses. You could argue that some of those were, exceptional throws, but, doing his job. But I just put super clean. Again, he had the one that kind of came out of his funny to Claypool on the second drive. That was a minus, but he follows it up with that incredible scramble for a first down on 3rd and 8. So that's a double plus. Obviously, the touchdown was a double plus, and going through it. I thought the Mooney touchdown throw was a double plus because the pocket collapsed in his face. If you go back and watch that one where he throws the inside fade, beautiful throw to the left corner, he's also getting the 3 technique in his face, and the left defensive end is kind of collapsing down on him. So, you have to have done that to know how hard it is. It's one thing to be accurate on a fade in a clean pocket. It's another thing when you really can't see it. You're anticipating the area you're throwing it, and people are falling in your lap. So that was his 3rd double plus there.
So that touchdown, Trent, we have Justin talking about it after the game. Exactly that play you just described.
I mean, yeah, that's just man-on-man matchup. The guy over him, he was already inside leverage, so Dante did a great job, protecting, the safety from the ball. And, of course, we had great protection up front. So really couldn't ask for, a better play call in that situation. Kudos to the guys up front, protecting their butts off all day.
And that's Xavier Howard. He throws it over. He says Dante protects the safety. So what's he's seeing the other wide receiver come in and pull the safety over? It all worked out together.
Yeah, it was a really nice concept. We call it a spin concept. Number 3 inside kind of spins out on the fade, and you activate 1 and 2 in man coverage. He's being gracious. The protection was not great. He kind of threw him open there by getting him to the outside shoulder and throwing it away from the inside leverage man defender. So I just thought it was a phenomenal throw considering the circumstances. I thought he did a lot of other really good things. It's hard to quantify how frustrating it is for a defense to have to defend a pretty well planned out passing game on 3rd down. I'm not saying it's dynamic, but it's well planned out, as well as the quarterback's ability to make something out of nothing. There were times where everybody's covered, and he somehow finds a way to get a first down. He does it multiple times in the game. I didn't count the exact number, but they all became plus plays because they became chain mover runs. When those runs are chain moving, meaning you convert downs, it gives you 3 more opportunities. And what we're finding is when he's able to convert first downs with his legs, they lead to scores in those drives. Most of the scores, and then you should probably have somebody do this, like go through the game breakdowns. And on plays where he converts a 3rd down or has a chunk run, they're scoring in those drives, which is a huge thing. Like a lot of teams can get a first down here or there, but it's hard to put consecutive 3rd down conversions together, march the ball and punch in the end zone. And the Bears last couple of weeks have been able to do that because of Justin's ability to create.
A cynic would say, Trent Dilfer, that these running plays are amazingly exciting, but not sustainable. What would you say to that?
I think it depends how much you use them. I think, they ran power for the first time, which it's a great run. QB power, they call it flip power, read power, is a great run. It's an A to B gap run for their quarterback. Those are dangerous runs. They can split it, like they can pop. but they're dangerous runs. I wouldn't want to see a ton of that. The zone reads aren't real dangerous. The arc ones, I don't know how to explain it, where you're meshing with the back, reading the backside end, and you have an arcer coming across to kind of protect the alley player. Those aren't real dangerous because you have that arc blocker to kind of protect the immediate mesh kill, teams that want to go blow up the mesh. So those are sustainable. You just have to formation them and motion them and shift them to disguise them every week. But the power stuff scares me. And then, a lot of his runs are coming off the nakeds. Like his ball handling's amazing. He takes that 1/3 down where they're going to naked out and he sees that he's got the edge and he lets the receiver block for him. He goes and gets 14. He has another one that he pulls down instead of throwing it and goes and gets more yardage on the run. They get the big touchdown to Komet where it's a naked boot. And I thought Trent Green did a great job explaining the naked concept and not sealing the backside and how the fake is so important. So a lot of this stuff isn't high risk. You don't see him taking a lot of hits. He's getting down. I saw him slide a couple times when he knew he was going to take shots. So I'm not from the school that it's not sustainable. I think it's very sustainable if you're judicious with it.
Yeah, you told us about that difference with QB power versus what they're doing for the most part with Getty. And Justin Fields only took a hit on 5 of the 15 runs. Everything else was a slide where he went and got out of bounds. Or, so he really does take care of himself out there when he gets wide, Trent. It seems like he knows that message has gone through.
Well, yeah, and I talked to Ryan Day also about it. He did the same thing in college. He didn't take a lot of unnecessary hits. He's been doing this a long time. Justin Fields has been the biggest, baddest dude for a long time and has been running around making plays with his feet. And although he's very powerful and a big man, he could, if needed, lower his shoulder and get a couple extra. He knows that's not what he's being paid to do. So I think he does a great job with it. I think you're only going to see more creativity coming that direction. They mentioned that they've been studying the Ravens. Really, it's Mark Roman everybody studies. I forgot his name a couple weeks ago when we were talking about, but Mark Roman with Kaepernick in San Francisco was really the one that kind of took some
Greg Roman.
Greg Roman, sorry. I don't know why I said Mark. Greg Roman.
Yeah, all good.
Really took the stuff from Chris Alt, who was the Nevada pistol guy years ago, and kind of poured some gasoline on it. So it's good stuff. It's very hard to defend, and then the passes off it. What you haven't seen yet, what you will see, is some of the action passes off of it. So there's some really good play actions off it because it kind of flattens the line of scrimmage. And you stop defensive linemen from penetrating and kind of flatten them out, and they're playing their gaps because they don't want to leave a gap short in the run game. So there's some great opportunities to throw the ball down the field too. I thought the best thing Justin did outside the one unbelievable run for the touchdown, which we can talk about too, because he wants to throw the ball to Mooney. That was not a pump fake. He was trying to throw the ball to Mooney on that. And Mooney turns up, and if he throws it, it's going to be picked. And then that's why he gets the guy in the air and then outruns the whole defense. But he was so decisive with his throws. Like outside, I had 2 minuses, a 3rd and 8 to Henry down the left sideline. And then there was another one late in the game. I think it was the second to last drive. I thought he should have given his receiver a better chance, like a back shoulder, a helmet shot. But besides those 2 throws, he was super decisive. Like it was quick, it was twitchy. The ball was thrown early. He wasn't waiting. I thought him passing the handful of times he pushed it down the field was really good.
You mentioned the ball handling on the play fake with the boot that he throws it to Komet for the touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
It reminded me of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
How about Boomer Esiason, Steve DeBerg?
Oh yeah, DeBerg.
Wasn't he great at that?
Yeah.
But it wasn't something that we saw like in weeks 1, 2, and 3. It almost feels like you have to have such confidence and like swagger to be able to like, I can turn my back to the defense and do it. Like, or am I wrong there? What does it tell you about where Justin is at comfort-wise to be able to execute something like that so smoothly?
I agree with what you're saying, but I think there's one other thing to it. It means he's working on it. It means he's identified something when he's handing the ball off. And I'll give you a Peyton Manning story here in a sec. But
okay,
he's studying himself and saying, what does it look like when I hand the ball off so that when I naked or boots, I want the defense to think I'm handing it off. And it goes back to Peyton Manning. I thought Peyton Manning was the greatest ball handling quarterback of all time. And Boomer was great and DeBerg was great. But to me, Peyton on that stretch zone stuff was just unbelievable. And what he would do, because a very good friend of mine coached him, and I was in Tampa at the time, and I was trying to get better at some stuff. So I'd call my friend and be like, what's Peyton doing? And he would tell me, and I'd go to work at it, is he would create a 10-play cut-up of every day's practice, or he'd have a GA do it, quality control guy do it. And 5 would be handoffs and 5 would be play fakes. And Peyton wouldn't know what order they were in, and then they would all freeze right before you found out whether they were handoffs or play fakes.
Ooh.
And it was a great way of studying, self-scout, studying himself. So he would work every day on making sure that whether he was handing it off or whether he was play faking, it looked exactly the same. And I was probably in my, 5th, 6th year. And it was amazing how much it helped me. Now, I was never great at it, but it was something to work on, and it really, you could see the impact it had when you did it well, the impact it had on the defense. And I'm guessing, again, I have not talked to Justin, but I'm guessing he went back and looked at, because they're handing it off a lot now. They lead the league in rushing. So he's handing off a lot. So he's got a lot to study. And if you're going to be a run action team, then you need to get your play fakes down really solid and not to give the defense any tips on what it is.
That's good stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if Luke Getsy was working on stuff like that, or Andrew Janoko was helping him work on stuff. We've heard some incredible stories about technology that Getsy has used to teach guys the install. Did it with Claypool this week, stuff like that. Like overall, everything that they've done since that mini buy and have adjusted. And Eberflus gets it too. I feel like the coaches really understand what they have, and they're trying with scheme to set Justin up in good position. Does it feel like that when you watch what they're doing now?
It really does. And I think we said it a few weeks ago. I said, I really like what Getsy's doing. I know we're not seeing results, but you could see in the multiple personnel groupings, multiple formations, shifts, movements, creativity with misdirection, even some of their pass concepts that they love. They run a lot. They mix up different ways of doing them so the defense doesn't know what's coming based off formation and personnel. They've done a really nice job. I mean, they're not dealing with a full deck right now. So you're having to really, you're having to duct tape it together, for lack of a better term. And I think they're doing a really good job with it. I really like Getsy. I like what they're doing. I like the foundation they're laying. I like the Claypool trade. I think it gives them a big physical presence on the perimeter and a guy that can make plays for him. Mooney just keeps getting better. Komet's a really good player. Both backs are good runners. I do think the offensive line is playing better. Like, I don't want this to be the whole year, well, they suck. We said they sucked in week 6, so they suck in week 17. That's, you can get better. You can develop. The league is a developmental league. The more you play together, you're going to get better. So I did see signs the last couple of weeks of better pass protection. Now Justin makes that a lot better, obviously, because he makes guys miss in the pocket. But there's a lot of things to be excited about the Bears right now.
Talking to Trent Dilfer, Parkins and Spiegel on the score. He seemed to pre-snap check a few times, audible a few times, maybe just signal one thing to Mooney, hey, you go do this, and not everyone else knows it, but he decided pre-snap, hey, I'm going to go to you because I see something. Are you seeing the same thing?
Yeah, it seems to be a more command. That's the word I would use. He has a greater command of what they're doing. There's a plus early in the game. I'd have to go through my sheet, but he throws a little quick pass to the left to Claypool, and Trent Green comments on, hey, when you're playing the Dolphins, you got to be ready for these side adjust throws. They're basically overloading the protection or the run if it was an RPO. They have an extra player at the line of scrimmage, to simplify it. And there's kind of this non-verbal, like, hey, if this guy comes, I got to throw you that little walk-off. I thought that's a veteran thing. Not everybody can do that. I've been around a lot of 3rd, 4th year quarterbacks that can't process that. They don't understand. They can't look at the line of scrimmage and go, he has him, he has him, he has him. They're going to combo to that. Oh, that guy's free. So he understands what's going on with the offensive line and their responsibilities for him to make adjustments. You do see him doing some can stuff, meaning, can, kill. We can run it. We can't run it. Changing the play. There's a little bit of that. He's changing the snap count up a little bit, which is hard for young quarterbacks to do. So there's a lot of positive signs. There's some graduate stuff here. relative to where he was just a few weeks ago.
He mentioned after the game, Trent, that, because a lot of us have been wondering, whoa, boy, the addition of Claypool has really changed the gravity. It's so affected the way the defense plays and stuff like that. But Justin mentioned, and I hadn't realized it till he said it, that they didn't double team Claypool. They didn't have Xavier Howard follow Claypool around, who's clearly their number one corner. So I don't know. Is Claypool the kind of guy that's going to dictate coverage and affect a defense like that? Maybe not. I don't know.
No. That stuff becomes, there's only a handful of guys that create that type of attention, right? Most defenses are going to run their systems, game plan against what usually the best ones try to take away whatever the quarterback does best. They're not really overly concerned with the guy unless it's an elite perimeter guy. I think Claypool's a really good player. He's a big physical presence. He'll be really good in the run game. They value blocking in the run game with the receivers. He's a big body to win some of those one-on-one kind of 50-50 balls. He has good run after the catch because of his physicality. But no, he's not a feared guy. I guess that's the easiest way to say it. There are, this is an arbitrary number, but 10 guys that are feared in the NFL outside. He's not one of them.
How would you defend Justin? Because they spied him yesterday for a while, and we laugh at that because nobody's as fast as Justin.
I wouldn't play man. I think this is what. All right, so when the Lamar stuff, really when the Kaepernick stuff came in to vogue and we were seeing some of these college concepts hitting the NFL. What I used to say when I was doing this for a living was what the ultimate net of all this is it gives the quarterback more defined looks in the secondary. You're going to get training camp coverage cells because you can't play a lot of the combo match coverages and man coverages and also defend all this stuff in the run game. Or if you do, right, then you're subject in the drop pass game for the quarterback running. What has happened to Lamar when he struggled, what happened to Kaepernick when he struggled, other guys that they kind of lead with some of this quarterback-driven run game, is when teams play super soft, flood zones, drop 8, are very passive in the secondary and don't give you these defined looks and don't let you scramble. Because really that's where the gashes come, right? The touchdown was a pass play that he scrambled on. The zone reads got him for 14, 8, 6. That you can live with that as a defense. What you can't live with is the home run. And the home runs have come on quarterback creating during a pass play and then scrambling and outrunning the defense. So I think if I'm playing against Justin Fields, I'm playing way more zone. I'm playing what you call monument defense, where guys drop into areas that are monuments with their eyes on the quarterback. I would get deep in my drops to take away all the chunk throws and make him show that he can dink and dunk and get to his third guy, a check down, get to a crosser. Like that's when you face those types of defenses and then some pressures off of those where they disguise soft zone looks and then bring the heat. That's when they're defending the quarterback and not the offense.
Next 5 years, who's the better football player? Justin Fields or Lamar Jackson?
He asked me next 10. He asked me next 10 years, and I took Justin because I had the back half.
Yeah. I mean, I love them both. I really do. They're such unique comparisons. I'll say this, if I'm going to go with Justin, it's just the physicality. If you notice, he's not just fast. He's not a sports car, right? He's a muscle car. He's a Ford Shelby. He's not a Maserati. Like Lamar's a Porsche. He's a Maserati. Justin's a Shelby Mustang. Like he's got 700 horsepower and it's steel. It weighs 2,000 pounds. Like he just has the power along with the speed. I think he's going to be more durable. I think, although I don't love to see a ton of it, he's going to bust some QB powers for 45 and run through arm tackles, and his ability to get out of stuff in the pocket with his strength, not just with his athleticism, is going to be nearly impossible to defend.
That's so good. Couple things on specific plays, real quick before we let you go, Trent. Texters are saying, and N'Keal Harry admitted that he converted his route on that third down on the double minus. So that wasn't a Justin mistake. So you can take away one double minus.
No, it wasn't a double minus. It was just a minus.
Just
so
a minus.
3.
Oh, that's right.
So
No.
now we're 3-7-3.
Okay. And then I loved the last play of the game when he scrambles but stays behind the line and chooses to throw an absolute dart to EQ St. Brown, and it's on his hands for a fourth down conversion. And that decision, and Danny, you pointed out, he goes up to St. Brown at the end of that play and picks him up, right? He has his back and says, that's all right, we got you. I mean, that's beautiful stuff, even though it didn't succeed, that play.
So that's interesting. It was the last play, obviously, and I've told you guys this. I watched the condensed version on NFL Network, and they don't do a replay of it. And I was trying to pause the pause button to see if it hit him in the hands or not. And when I pressed the pause button, everything got blurry, so I couldn't tell. It looked like a great throw. I put great throw.
Perfect.
On my. I didn't know if the DB got his hand in there or not. So, that was. I agree. That was an absolute rip shot right there. And he again, it seemed like he had supreme confidence as he escaped with his eyes downfield. And Steve Young used to say this all the time. He said he was at his best when he attacked the line of scrimmage in a throwing posture. And I thought that was brilliant. Like Steve Young, one of the greatest ever lived, said, I would try to attack the line of scrimmage, but I'm in a throwing posture because now I know I have them. They either got to go cover or I can go run. And I'm always in a position to make a throw. And that's exactly what it looked like with Justin on that play.
Next 5 years, who's the better player, Justin Fields or Justin Herbert?
You guys love this stuff. I don't know. I said this. I said this a few years ago, and I got laughed out of the building. And I kind of want to go back to Pullian and all these guys that laughed at me. I said we're getting ready to embark upon the greatest generation of quarterback play we've ever seen. This is probably 7-8 years ago, and I stand by that. I mean, and by the way, there's more coming. Okay, so C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, like we've seen them all. This will be the greatest generation of quarterbacking you'll ever see. And Josh Allen, Mahomes, Herbert, Fields, Tua, Burrow. Like I can go, and Rodgers, now he played like crap yesterday, but Rodgers is still going to play well. Brady's 78 years old and still playing well. I mean, there's just a lot of really, really, really talented players, and offensive coaches are getting better too. So you're seeing the creativity, you're seeing the talent at quarterback, you're seeing it from the time they're 16 years old. I know I'm getting out of the question, but there's just going to be a lot of ones, and it's going to be who's playing better that year. I think that's going to be the discussions. Hey, we love Herbert, Tua, Fields, Burrow, Lamar, and Allen, and Mahomes. Like, those are the guys. Everybody thinks they're the best. Well, who's playing the best this year? Because that's who's the best is right now. But next year it might be the other guy. So
I just want a guy in the conversation. I just want a guy in the conversation.
You'll get one. You have him.
That's why I'm wearing a boa. It's the Parkins and Spiegel show. Tell our guy Colin Cowherd.
670 to score. 670 to score. I got it.
Okay. That'll work.